So like lots of people who write, I feel like I've always written and wanted to be a writer. It's taken a long time to get to a stage where I feel like I can call myself that, and even now it feels like a bit of a treat to say that I'm a writer when I introduce myself. I am chaotic. I live quite chaotically, and I think I write in the same way. I'm a famine or feast kind of writer. I'm never not writing. Everything, I think almost everything I do in my life now feeds into writing. So the first part of my writing process, and the biggest part, I would call myself a gatherer. So I gather everything. I'm a bit of a magpie for treasures. I collect things that I find on the ground in nature. I buy secondhand things that inspire me and that might have stories. I absolutely love finding something on a beach or, I don't know, in a forest that isn't supposed to be there and might tell me a story. The other ways I collect are mainly through interactions with people. So I am the person on the bus or in the queue who talks. I talk to anyone, anywhere. And it's these little snippets of life that I find might be a title for a piece or might give me a character in a piece and just lead towards stories. And again, just being out and about on the street, seeing shop signs. I especially love the front pages of newspapers and the pages of local newspapers. If I find a stand outside a newsagent with a really good headline, that always sends me off in a direction. Once I've gathered things, I tend to take things for a bit of a walk. And I live in a really lovely rural part of Northumberland now, so I'm lucky to be able to do this whenever I fancy, really. The thing that's been most challenging this last year has been everything I did to find my way into stories and writing has disappeared. So getting outside to see people, going somewhere new to invigorate my thinking process, sitting in a cafe to try and troubleshoot a plot, all that's gone. And I spent about 6 months not writing anything. I definitely spent a lot of time waiting, hoping that it would go back to the way it was, where now I'm pretty convinced that I've been able to develop a practice that'll work no matter what life throws at me. So the gatherings happened on a much smaller scale. I do a lot more online gathering now. I lean on things that I already have. I go back to old notebooks quite a lot for story starters. And the next thing that I really feel most strongly about is reading. And this is the thing that really makes everyone a better writer. I was the writer in residence at Forum Books in Corbridge in 2019 and 2020. And being in that environment around not just all of the books, but getting an insight into the publishing world and how all of that works really inspired me. And because I was flung in and had to read as many books as possible, I haven't always been a fast or avid reader, but working there changed that hugely. So reading for me is the way I learn how to be a better writer. If I find a book that I absolutely love, I want to work out why. It always makes me want to write more. It makes me inspired. It makes me think I can do this. The final bit I want to talk about is community. And that's something that I feel really, really strongly about. I run the Northern Writers Studio. I started that in October last year to sort of bring writers together. And writing is, what I always tell people is that writing is a solitary task. You're the only person who can write your piece of work, but you absolutely don't have to do it alone. And being able to lean on a community of other writers and people who are going through the same thing as you is so crucial. And in the early days of writing, I would write and show my husband, and that was about it. Where now it's just, it's not enough. I need to send my work out to more people. You know, if you're writing for a reader, you need to make sure someone's read your work, and being able to be part of a community of people who can do that for you and give you feedback and tell you whether you're going down the right road or whether you're totally off track is brilliant. And it's not just about feedback, it's about support, moral support. The way we've started to work online, and I write now every week with people from not just all over the country, but all over the world. And what we share is just this absolute love for storytelling and for exploring new ideas and new worlds. And it doesn't necessarily matter what we're working on or how good it might be, but the idea that we're working on it at the same time together is just perfect, really. So summing up, I suppose, it comes down to gathering, reading and just being part of a really strong community and knowing that you're not alone.